I called money. And it came, not by luck, not by accident, but by alignment. The moment I changed the way I spoke to life, life changed the way it spoke back to me. Money is not something to chase in fear or beg for in desperation. Money is energy, and energy responds to confidence, clarity, and belief. When I stopped saying, I hope, and started saying, I know, everything shifted. I realized that money hears certainty. It listens when you speak from a place of worth, not want. For years, people are taught to struggle first and receive later, but the truth is different. The universe responds to the inner command you give it. When I called money, I did not whisper, I declared. I declared that I was ready, capable, and open to receive. I released guilt around wealth, fear around success, and doubt around my abilities. The moment my mind accepted abundance as natural, money found its way to me through ideas, opportunities, people, and unexpected doors. Money came because I made space for it. I stopped blocking it with negative words and limiting stories. I spoke life into my finances. I treated money with respect before it arrived. I imagined it flowing freely, serving good purposes, improving lives, including my own. And just like a loyal messenger, money answered the call. Not always instantly, but inevitably. What you consistently expect with faith must eventually appear. Money responds to belief, not desperation, and this truth changes everything the moment you truly understand it. Desperation is loud, anxious, impatient, and heavy. It comes from fear, from lack, from the feeling that something outside of you is missing, and must arrive immediately or everything will fall apart. When you speak to money from desperation, you are not calling it, you are pushing it away. Money does not move toward panic. It does not respond to stress, begging, or inner chaos. It responds to calm certainty, to inner authority, to the quiet knowing that says, I am already enough, and abundance belongs with me. The universe mirrors your inner state, not your outer words. You may say you want money, but if inside you feel unworthy, doubtful, or afraid, that inner signal is what gets answered. Belief, on the other hand, is steady. It doesn't rush. It doesn't chase. Belief knows. When belief is present, there is no need to convince life of anything. There is no force, no struggle, no comparison. Belief carries an energy that is relaxed yet powerful, humble yet confident. When you believe you are supported, opportunities begin to appear naturally. Ideas come without strain. People show up at the right time. Paths open that you didn't even know existed. This is because belief places you in harmony with abundance, while desperation places you in resistance to it. Money flows where there is flow, not where there is tension. Many people work hard, pray hard, and hope hard, yet remain stuck, because their effort is fueled by fear instead of faith. They wake up thinking about bills, sleep thinking about problems, and talk constantly about what they don't have. Even their goals are soaked in anxiety. They want money, so they can finally breathe, so they can stop suffering, so life can stop hurting. This emotional pressure becomes a command to the subconscious mind that says, lack is normal, struggle is expected, relief is rare. And the subconscious mind, which does not judge or argue, simply accepts this as truth and continues to recreate the same conditions. When belief replaces desperation, the inner dialogue changes completely. Instead of saying, I need money now or I'm finished, the mind begins to say, money is finding me in the right way, at the right time. Instead of saying, why is life so hard for me? It shifts to, everything is working together for my good, even if I don't see it yet. This shift is subtle, but it is everything. It changes the frequency you live in. It changes how you walk, how you speak, how you decide, and how you act. And because money is responsive to mindset, it begins to move toward you differently. Belief does not mean pretending problems don't exist. It means refusing to let problems define your identity. It means understanding that your current financial situation is a temporary expression, not a permanent truth. Desperation says, this is who I am. Belief says, this is where I am, it can change. That distinction is powerful. The moment you detach your self-worth from your bank balance, you regain your power. Money can sense self-worth. It is drawn to those who respect themselves, who trust themselves, who see value in their own mind, time, and energy. When someone believes deeply, their actions change naturally. They stop making rushed decisions. They stop accepting less than they deserve. They stop operating from survival mode and start operating from intention. Desperation makes people grab whatever comes, even if it's harmful or limiting. Belief makes people selective, patient, and wise. and wisdom attracts sustainable wealth. Money that comes through belief stays longer, grows stronger, and brings peace with it. Money that comes through desperation often leaves quickly, because it was never welcomed properly, it was grabbed in fear. There is also a spiritual dimension to this truth. Life responds to trust. When you trust that you are guided, provided for, and supported, you align with a higher order. You stop trying to control every outcome and allow intelligence beyond your conscious mind to assist you. Desperation tries to control. Belief allows, and allowing is not weakness, it is cooperation with the laws of life. Just as a farmer does not panic day after planting seeds, belief understands timing. You water, you nurture, you stay consistent, and you trust the process. Digging up the seed every morning out of fear only delays the harvest. Belief also cleans the relationship you have with money. Many people secretly resent money, fear it, or associate it with corruption, loss, or pain. Then they wonder why it avoids them. When belief is present, money is seen as neutral, useful, and supportive. It becomes a tool, not a master. You no longer feel small around money. You feel capable of managing it, multiplying it, and using it for good. That emotional neutrality and respect is extremely attractive to wealth. Money flows toward those who are not emotionally unstable around it. Another powerful aspect of belief is consistency. Desperation is inconsistent. It believes one day and doubts the next. It feels hopeful in the morning and hopeless at night. Belief remains steady even when results are not visible. It understands that unseen movement is still movement. This steadiness sends a clear signal to the subconscious and to life itself. I am serious. I am ready. I am aligned. And when that signal is clear, results cannot remain confused for long. When you truly live from belief, you stop chasing money and start attracting value. You focus on growth, contribution, learning, and excellence. Money naturally follows value. Desperation asks, how can I get? Belief asks, how can I become more? And as you become more skilled, more aware, more confident, money has more reasons to come. Not because you begged, but because you matched it. In the end, money responding to belief is not about positive thinking alone. It is about identity. Who do you believe you are in relation to abundance? A struggler, a survivor, a victim of circumstances, or a creator, a receiver, a participant in a generous universe? Life answers that question daily through your results. When belief becomes your foundation, desperation fades, and money no longer feels distant or difficult. It feels familiar. It feels cooperative. It feels like it knows where you are, because belief made you visible. And when belief becomes natural, money comes quietly, steadily, and repeatedly, not as a miracle you hope for once, but as a normal part of a life aligned with confidence, trust, and inner certainty. Your words program your financial reality, whether you are aware of it or not, and this is one of the most powerful truths a person can ever discover. Every word you speak is not just sound, it is instruction. It is a command sent to the subconscious mind, and the subconscious mind does not question, argue, or analyze, it accepts and acts. It takes your repeated words as facts and begins shaping your behavior, your expectations, your decisions, and ultimately your experiences to match them. This is why two people can live in the same world, face similar conditions, and yet have completely different financial lives. One is speaking life into their future, while the other is unknowingly speaking limitation into theirs. Most people speak about money casually, without realizing the weight their words carry. They say things like, money is hard to get, I'm always broke, nothing ever works for me, or I'll never be rich, often joking, often out of frustration, often without intention. But the subconscious mind does not recognize jokes or exaggeration. It only hears repetition and emotion. When you repeatedly say you are broke, your mind accepts broke as an identity. When you say money never stays with you, your mind creates habits and decisions that ensure money continues to leave. Words become beliefs, beliefs become behavior, and behavior becomes results. Your financial reality today is, in many ways, a reflection of yesterday's inner conversations. Long before money shows up or disappears in your hands, it is first accepted or rejected in your mind through language. Words create mental images, and mental images activate feelings. Feelings drive action. Action produces outcomes. This chain reaction begins with something as simple as what you consistently say when you think about money. If your words are heavy with fear, lack, and resentment, your financial experience will carry the same weight. If your words are calm, confident, and respectful, money responds differently. When you speak words of lack, you place your mind in survival mode. Survival mode narrows perception. You become reactive instead of creative. You focus on short-term relief instead of long-term growth. You miss opportunities because fear blocks your vision. Even when chances appear, you may not recognize them or believe they are meant for you. This is not bad luck, it is programming. The subconscious mind follows the script you give it. If the script says, "There is never enough," it will constantly look for proof of not enough. On the other hand, when you consciously choose words of abundance, you begin rewriting that script. This does not mean lying to yourself or denying reality. It means choosing words that point your mind toward possibility, instead of limitation. Saying, "Money is flowing to me in new ways," opens the mind to observe new ideas. Saying, "I always find solutions," trains the brain to search for answers instead of excuses. Saying, "I am improving my financial situation every day," may not change your bank balance instantly, but it changes your internal posture toward life. And that change is the beginning of everything. Words also shape your emotional relationship with money. Many people have a tense, anxious, or even hostile relationship with finances because of how they talk about it. If every mention of money is followed by stress, complaint, or anger, the subconscious links money with pain. Then, without realizing it, you may avoid opportunities, procrastinate on important decisions, or sabotage progress because your mind associates money with discomfort. When you change your language, you soften this relationship. Speaking calmly and respectfully about money retrains the subconscious to see it as safe, manageable, and supportive. Your inner dialogue is just as important as your spoken words. What you say silently, repeatedly, and emotionally has even more influence. The thoughts you think when no one is listening are the most honest instructions you give yourself. If, deep inside, you constantly think, "I'm not good with money," "I don't deserve more," or "rich people are different from me," those thoughts quietly build walls. They limit what you believe is possible. They shape the choices you make and the risks you avoid. Changing your spoken words without addressing your inner dialogue is like cleaning the outside of a house while ignoring the foundation. When you begin to observe your language, you gain power. Awareness alone starts the transformation. You notice patterns. You catch yourself repeating old phrases that no longer serve you. You realize how often you speak against your own progress. This awareness is not meant to create guilt, but clarity. Once you see how words influence your reality, you can consciously choose better ones. And the more consistently you choose them, the more natural they become. The subconscious mind thrives on repetition. A single positive statement said once has little impact, but a statement repeated daily, emotionally, and with attention begins to take root. Over time, it reshapes your self-image. And your self-image is the blueprint of your life. You do not rise to the level of your wishes, you fall or rise to the level of your self-concept. If your words build an image of yourself as capable, resourceful, and deserving, your actions will align with that image. You will notice yourself making smarter decisions, taking inspired action, and responding differently to challenges. Words also affect how others perceive and respond to you. The way you speak about money, opportunity, and yourself sends signals. Confidence attracts cooperation. Clarity invites trust. When your language reflects belief and stability, people are more likely to support you, partner with you, and offer opportunities. This is not manipulation, it is resonance. People respond to the energy behind your words as much as the words themselves. Another important aspect is gratitude in language. Gratitude shifts focus from what is missing to what is present. When you regularly speak with appreciation, even for small financial wins, you train your mind to notice progress instead of delay. Gratitude multiplies awareness of abundance. It tells the subconscious, more of this is welcome. Complaining tells it, this is all there is. What you emphasize through words expands an experience. It is also crucial to understand that words work best when they feel believable. If your statements feel forced or unrealistic, the subconscious resists. The goal is not to jump from, "I have nothing," to, "I am a billionaire," overnight, but to choose language that stretches you gently forward. Statements like, "I am learning to manage money wisely," "My income is improving," or "I am open to new financial opportunities," feel accessible. They build confidence instead of inner conflict. As your belief grows, your words can grow stronger too. Consistency matters more than intensity. Calm, steady, Repeated language is more powerful than dramatic declarations, made only in moments of motivation. What you say on ordinary days, during routine moments, shapes your reality more than what you shout during emotional highs. Life responds to patterns, not bursts. The subconscious responds to what is familiar, not what is occasional. Over time, as your language changes, you may notice subtle shifts. You react differently to setbacks. You feel less panic and more curiosity. You begin to expect solutions instead of problems. These internal changes may seem small, but they are signs that reprogramming is happening. And once the internal program changes, the external results must follow, because outer reality is always downstream from inner belief. Words are seeds. Some grow weeds, some grow gardens. You are planting all the time, whether consciously or unconsciously. Choosing your words carefully is not about being perfect. It is about being intentional. When you speak as if your life is listening, because it is, you reclaim authorship over your financial story. You stop repeating inherited limitations and start writing a new narrative. In the end, money does not respond to effort alone. It responds to alignment. Your words are one of the fastest ways to create that alignment. They shape how you see yourself, how you see opportunity, and how life responds to you. Speak as someone who expects progress. Speak as someone who trusts growth. Speak as someone who knows that change is possible. Because when your words change consistently, your financial reality has no choice but to change with them. Abundance begins in the subconscious mind long before it ever appears in your hands, your bank account, or your visible circumstances. What most people call luck, chance, or coincidence is often nothing more than the outward expression of an inner program that has been running quietly for years. The subconscious mind is the silent builder of your life. It works day and night, shaping your habits, reactions, expectations, and perceptions based on what it has accepted as true. It does not decide whether something is possible or impossible. It simply follows instructions. Whatever beliefs, images, and assumptions are impressed upon it, it takes as commands and moves to fulfill them. From early childhood, the subconscious mind absorbs information without filter. It learns from parents, culture, religion, education, and emotional experiences. If a person repeatedly hears that money is scarce, that success is only for a few, that struggle is normal, or that wealth changes people for the worse, these ideas sink deep into the subconscious and form a blueprint. Later in life, even when the conscious mind wants abundance, the subconscious may still be operating on a program of limitation. This inner conflict is one of the main reasons people work hard yet feel blocked, motivated yet stuck, hopeful yet frustrated. The subconscious mind does not respond to logic, it responds to repetition and emotion. You cannot argue it into abundance. You must gently re-educate it. This is why positive thinking alone often fails. A person may say, "I want to be wealthy," but if the subconscious believes, "Money is unsafe," or "I don't deserve more," it will subtly guide behavior to maintain the familiar pattern. It may create procrastination, fear of risk, poor decisions, or missed opportunities, all while the person consciously believes they are trying their best. Abundance truly begins when the subconscious mind accepts wealth, ease, and success as normal and safe. Normality is a powerful force. The subconscious always tries to return you to what feels normal, even if that normal includes struggle. When abundance feels unfamiliar, the mind resists it. When abundance feels natural, the mind cooperates with it. This is why some people seem to attract money effortlessly. Their subconscious is not fighting their desires, it is aligned with them. The images you hold in your mind play a crucial role in this process. The subconscious thinks in pictures and feelings, not words. If you consistently imagine yourself struggling, worrying, or barely surviving, those images become instructions. If you imagine yourself confident, capable, and supported, those images become instructions as well. This is not fantasy, it is conditioning. Athletes visualize success to train their nervous system. The subconscious cannot tell the difference between a vividly imagined experience and a real one. It responds to both in similar ways. Emotion is the language of the subconscious. When a thought is charged with emotion, it leaves a deeper imprint. Fear-based emotions impress limitation. Calm confidence impress possibility. Gratitude impress expansion. This is why desperation often blocks abundance while relaxed belief attracts it. Desperation is emotionally loud but rooted in fear. It tells the subconscious, there is danger. There is not enough. Belief tells it, I am safe. There is support. The subconscious then organizes behavior and perception around that emotional signal. Another important truth is that the subconscious mind seeks consistency. It tries to keep your outer world aligned with your inner beliefs. If you believe deep down that money comes with pain, guilt, or loss, the subconscious may limit how much you receive or how long you keep it. This is not punishment, it is protection according to its programming. To change results, the belief about safety must change first. Abundance must be associated with peace, growth, and good outcomes, not stress or danger. Self-image is one of the strongest programs held in the subconscious mind. How you see yourself determines what you allow yourself to receive. If you see yourself as someone who gets by, you will unconsciously reject opportunities that move you beyond that identity. If you see yourself as capable and deserving, you will naturally step into higher levels of responsibility and reward. Abundance is not just about money, it is about identity expansion. The subconscious must accept a new version of you before reality can reflect it. Repetition is how reprogramming happens. Occasional affirmations have little effect. Daily, emotionally neutral or positive reinforcement slowly reshapes belief. This is why patience is essential. The subconscious changes through familiarity, not force. Gentle persistence is more powerful than intense effort. Each time you choose a thought of possibility over limitation, you weaken the old program slightly. Over time, those small shifts accumulate into a complete transformation. Your environment also influences the subconscious. What you listen to, watch, and discuss repeatedly becomes part of your inner world. Surrounding yourself with messages of growth, empowerment, and abundance supports reprogramming. Constant exposure to fear, negativity, and scarcity reinforces old patterns. The subconscious is always learning, always absorbing. Choosing your inputs is an act of self-leadership. It is important to understand that abundance in the subconscious does not mean expecting money without action. The subconscious works through you, not instead of you. When it accepts abundance as normal, it guides you toward inspired action. Ideas feel lighter, decisions feel clearer, opportunities stand out more easily. You find yourself doing the right things at the right time without excessive force. This is what alignment feels like. Effort becomes effective instead of exhausting. Resistance often shows up during reprogramming. Old beliefs may surface as doubt, impatience, or skepticism. This is not failure, it is exposure. Awareness of resistance means the subconscious is being challenged. Instead of fighting it, observe it calmly. Replace judgment with curiosity. Each time you choose a new response, you weaken the old conditioning. Abundance also grows when the subconscious associates giving with receiving. A mindset of contribution tells the mind that flow is safe and continuous. Hoarding, fear of spending, or constant worry tells it that resources are fragile. When you trust circulation, the subconscious learns that there is always more. This trust does not mean irresponsibility, it means confidence in replenishment. Rest and stillness play a surprising role in subconscious change. A tired, stressed mind resists new programming. Relaxation opens the door. This is why moments before sleep and after waking are powerful. The subconscious is more receptive when the conscious mind is calm. What you think and feel in those moments leaves a strong imprint. Over time, as abundance becomes embedded in the subconscious, you may notice a shift in how you experience life. You feel less rushed, less threatened by uncertainty. You trust timing more. You respond instead of react. These internal changes often appear before financial changes, but they are signs that the foundation is being rebuilt. Outer abundance without inner alignment is unstable. Inner abundance naturally seeks outer expression. The most important thing to remember is that the subconscious mind is not against you. It has always been trying to help based on what it knows. When you give it new instructions, it works just as faithfully to support them. Abundance does not require you to become someone else. It requires you to release beliefs that no longer serve who you are becoming. When abundance is rooted in the subconscious, money is no longer something you chase or fear. It becomes a response to who you are. It comes through multiple channels, sometimes expected, sometimes surprising, but always appropriate to your level of alignment. And once abundance feels natural inside, the outer world has no choice but to reflect it, because reality is always echoing the deepest beliefs you carry within. Gratitude and respect invite financial flow in ways that are often invisible at first, but profoundly powerful over time. Most people think money responds only to effort, strategy, or timing, yet beneath all of that lies relationship. Money behaves less like a cold object, and more like a reflection of how you relate to value, to life, and to yourself. When gratitude and respect are present, that relationship becomes open, balanced, and welcoming. When they are absent, even large opportunities can slip through your hands without leaving lasting benefit. Gratitude shifts the mind from scarcity to sufficiency. Scarcity is not just the absence of money, it is the feeling that what you have is never enough and never safe. That feeling creates tension, and tension restricts flow. Gratitude relaxes that tension. When you acknowledge what is already present, even if it feels small, you signal to your subconscious that you are supported. This sense of support is critical, because the mind makes better decisions when it feels safe. Calm minds notice opportunities. Anxious minds miss them. When a person practices gratitude, they begin to see resources where they once saw only obstacles. Time becomes a resource. Skills become assets. Connections become possibilities. This expanded perception is not imagination, it is awareness. Gratitude trains the mind to scan for value instead of lack. And where attention goes, energy follows. Money often follows energy because money itself is a form of concentrated value. Respect, on the other hand, shapes how money behaves once it arrives. Many people want money but secretly resent it, fear it, or misuse it. They speak harshly about it, spend it impulsively, or treat it as something that comes and goes without meaning. This lack of respect creates instability. Just as relationships between people suffer when respect is absent, the relationship with money becomes inconsistent when it is not honored. Respect for money begins internally. It starts with the belief that money represents effort, time, and exchange. When you respect money, you respect your own time and energy, and you respect the time and energy of others. This respect changes how you earn, spend, save, and invest. You become more intentional. You pause before wasting. You plan instead of panic. These behaviors are not forced. They arise naturally when respect is present. Gratitude and respect together create coherence. Gratitude says, I value what I have. Respect says, I handle what I have wisely. This combination tells the subconscious mind that you are capable of managing more. The subconscious is deeply protective. It will not allow you to comfortably receive what it believes you cannot handle. When you demonstrate appreciation and responsibility with small amounts, the subconscious becomes open to larger flows. Many people wait to feel grateful until they have more money, but this reverses the natural order. Gratitude is not a reward for abundance, it is a condition for it. Feeling grateful after receiving money is easy. Feeling grateful before it arrives requires trust. That trust is what expands capacity. It trains the mind to expect good outcomes rather than brace for disappointment. Respect also shows up in how you talk about money. Words carry emotional charge. When money is always discussed with frustration, anger, or shame, the subconscious links it with discomfort. Over time, this creates avoidance patterns. You may delay checking accounts, avoid financial planning, or feel stress whenever money is mentioned. Respectful language neutralizes this tension. Speaking about money calmly and responsibly retrains the nervous system to associate finances with stability rather than threat. Gratitude further amplifies this effect by reinforcing positive feedback loops. When you acknowledge even small improvements, the mind learns that progress is happening. Progress motivates consistency. Consistency builds momentum. Momentum attracts results. Complaining interrupts this loop. It tells the mind that effort is pointless and that nothing changes. Gratitude tells the mind that movement is occurring, even if slowly. Another subtle effect of gratitude is that it reduces envy and comparison. Comparison drains energy because it shifts focus outward instead of inward. When you compare your financial journey to others, you weaken your connection to your own path. Gratitude brings attention back to your progress, your growth, and your unique timing. This grounded focus improves decision making and emotional resilience, both of which are essential for sustainable wealth. Respect for money also includes respecting the process of earning it. Quick gains without appreciation often disappear quickly. Money that comes without respect is treated casually and leaves casually. Money that is earned or received with awareness tends to be stewarded more carefully. This does not mean money must come through struggle to be respected. It means it must be consciously received. Receiving well is a skill. It involves acknowledging the value of what arrives and integrating it thoughtfully into your life. Gratitude creates openness. Respect creates structure. Openness without structure leads to chaos. Structure without openness leads to rigidity. Together, they create flow. Financial flow is not about constant increase, it is about smooth movement. Money coming in, money going out, value being exchanged, needs being met. Flow feels natural and sustainable. Gratitude keeps the heart open to receiving. Respect keeps the mind grounded in wise management. People who practice gratitude often experience unexpected opportunities. This is not coincidence. Gratitude improves mood, and improved mood enhances creativity. Creative thinking finds solutions where rigid thinking sees only limits. Opportunities often come disguised as ideas, conversations, or small chances that require initiative. Gratitude keeps you receptive enough to notice them. Respect gives you the discipline to act on them responsibly. Another important aspect is how gratitude affects patience. Financial growth rarely happens overnight, yet impatience causes many to abandon good paths too early. Gratitude anchors you in the present, making waiting feel purposeful, rather than painful. When you appreciate where you are less likely to make desperate moves that sabotage long-term stability. Patience is not passive, it is confident endurance. Respect also involves boundaries. Respecting money means not allowing others to misuse your resources, and not using money to fill emotional gaps. When money is used to compensate for insecurity, loneliness, or approval seeking, it loses its grounding role. Respect keeps money in its proper place as a tool, not a substitute for self-worth. This clarity strengthens your relationship with it. Gratitude transforms setbacks as well. Financial challenges are inevitable, but how you interpret them matters. Gratitude does not deny difficulty, it reframes it. Instead of seeing setbacks as proof of failure, gratitude sees them as feedback. This mindset preserves confidence during difficult periods. Confidence during difficulty prevents panic, and lack of panic prevents costly mistakes. There is also a social dimension to gratitude and respect. People are naturally drawn to those who appreciate value and treat resources well. Trust grows in such environments. Trust leads to partnerships, recommendations, and collaboration. Many financial opportunities come through relationships, not transactions. Gratitude strengthens relationships by acknowledging contribution. Respect maintains them by honoring agreements. Over time, gratitude reshapes identity. You begin to see yourself as someone who is supported by life rather than opposed by it. Respect reshapes behavior. You begin to act as someone who can handle responsibility. Identity and behavior together determine outcomes. When your identity includes abundance, and your behavior reflects respect, money has a clear path to remain and grow in your life. It is important to understand that gratitude is not passive acceptance of less. It is appreciation without complacency. You can be grateful and still desire growth. In fact, gratitude clarifies desire. It removes desperation and replaces it with intention. Desire fueled by gratitude is focused and steady. Desire fueled by dissatisfaction is scattered and impatient. Respect also does not mean rigidity or fear of spending. Respectful spending is conscious spending. It aligns money with values. When money supports what matters to you, satisfaction increases and regret decreases. This emotional alignment reduces inner conflict and builds confidence in financial decisions. Confidence invites more opportunity because you trust yourself to navigate it. The practice of gratitude can be simple. Acknowledging progress, appreciating effort, recognizing support, noticing small wins. These moments accumulate. They shift your internal climate. A positive internal climate allows ideas to germinate. Ideas are one of the main vehicles through which money arrives. Ideas require openness. Gratitude provides that openness. Respect can be practiced through small habits. Tracking finances, honoring commitments, planning thoughtfully, learning continuously. These habits signal readiness. Readiness is attractive to opportunity. Opportunity often seeks those who are prepared, not just those who are hopeful. When gratitude and respect become natural, money stops feeling like something outside of you. It becomes part of an ongoing exchange between your skills, your contributions, and the world's needs. This perspective removes fear. Fear blocks flow. Trust restores it. Ultimately, financial flow is not about forcing outcomes. It is about creating conditions. Gratitude creates emotional conditions. Respect creates practical conditions. When both are present, money moves with less resistance. It comes more easily, stays more comfortably, and leaves with purpose rather than panic. As this relationship deepens, you may notice a quiet confidence replace urgency. You stop measuring your worth by numbers and start measuring progress by alignment. Ironically, This inner shift often precedes external growth. When you are no longer obsessed with money, you become better at working with it. Gratitude keeps you connected to abundance. Respect keeps abundance grounded in reality. Together, they form a stable foundation upon which financial flow can build naturally. And when money flows naturally, it becomes not a source of stress, but a supportive partner in a life guided by clarity, balance, and trust. Openness creates opportunity, and this principle quietly governs how money, success, and growth move through a person's life. Many people believe opportunity is something external that randomly appears or disappears, but in reality, opportunity is deeply connected to inner posture. An open mind, an open attitude, and an open emotional state act like open doors. A closed inner world, even with effort and desire, limits what can enter. Money, ideas, and connections tend to flow where there is space to receive them. When a person is open, they are willing to see beyond old assumptions. They are not trapped by the belief that there is only one path, one chance, or one way to succeed. Openness allows the mind to recognize possibilities that would otherwise be dismissed. Often, opportunity does not look like a dramatic breakthrough. It appears as a small idea, a conversation, a suggestion, or a subtle shift in direction. A closed mind overlooks these moments because it is focused on fear, certainty, or rigid expectations. Fear is one of the biggest causes of closedness. Fear narrows perception. It convinces the mind that safety lies in sameness, even if sameness is uncomfortable or limiting. When fear dominates, people reject unfamiliar opportunities not because they are wrong, but because they are new. Openness requires a sense of inner safety. It is the feeling that you can explore without losing yourself. This inner safety does not come from guarantees, it comes from self-trust. Self-trust is built through openness. When you allow yourself to consider new options, you send a message to your subconscious that you are capable of adapting. This adaptability is crucial for financial growth, because economies, industries, and circumstances constantly change. Those who remain open can adjust. Those who cling to fixed ideas struggle. Openness keeps you relevant, flexible, and responsive to life's movement. Openness also applies to receiving. Many people unknowingly block opportunity because they struggle to receive help, guidance, or support. They may associate receiving with weakness, dependence, or obligation. This belief creates resistance. Opportunity often comes through other people, mentors, collaborators, clients, or unexpected allies. If you are closed to receiving, you may reject the very channels through which growth arrives. Receiving does not diminish independence, it enhances it. When you allow support, you expand your reach. Openness to receiving also improves relationships. People feel valued when their contribution is welcomed. This creates trust and goodwill, both of which are essential for long-term success. Money flows more easily in environments where trust exists. Another dimension of openness is emotional openness. When emotions are suppressed or avoided, energy becomes stagnant. Stagnation blocks creativity. Creativity is one of the primary sources of opportunity. Emotional openness allows feelings to move rather than harden into patterns. This movement frees mental space for insight. Often, breakthroughs come after emotional release, not intellectual effort. Openness also involves curiosity. Curiosity keeps the mind engaged with learning. Learning expands competence. Competence attracts opportunity. When you are curious, you ask better questions. You explore new skills. You notice trends. You adapt. Curiosity transforms uncertainty from a threat into an invitation. This shift changes how you experience risk. Instead of avoiding it entirely, you learn to engage with it intelligently. Many opportunities are missed because they do not match preconceived images of success. A closed mindset insists on specific outcomes. An open mindset allows outcomes to evolve. Life often delivers results through unexpected routes. Flexibility allows you to recognize value, even when it arrives in unfamiliar packaging. Some of the most successful paths begin as detours. Openness also affects timing. When you are open, you are less rushed. Rushing narrows focus and increases mistakes. Openness allows patience. Patience improves judgment. Good judgment attracts better opportunities because you are prepared to recognize and choose them wisely. Impatience, driven by fear of missing out, often leads to poor decisions that close future doors. Another key aspect is openness to feedback. Feedback provides information. Information refines strategy. Refined strategy improves results. When feedback is resisted, learning stops. When learning stops, growth stagnates. Openness to feedback does not mean accepting every opinion, It means listening without defensiveness. This openness strengthens self-awareness, which is essential for progress. Openness also means releasing attachment to past identities. Many people remain loyal to outdated versions of themselves. They cling to roles, labels, or stories that no longer fit. This loyalty limits opportunity, because new levels of success often require new levels of identity. Letting go of who you were does not erase your history. It allows evolution. Openness to change is openness to growth. Financial opportunity is closely linked to problem solving. Problems exist everywhere. Opportunity exists in the ability to solve them. An open mind sees problems as invitations. A closed mind sees them as burdens. When you approach problems with openness, you engage creativity instead of resistance. Creativity finds solutions. Solutions create value. Value attracts money. Openness also affects resilience. Setbacks are inevitable. An open mindset views setbacks as information rather than verdicts. This interpretation preserves motivation. It keeps momentum alive. Closedness turns setbacks into final judgments. This shuts down effort and discourages exploration. Resilience thrives on openness because openness allows adaptation. There is also a spiritual aspect to openness. Trust in life creates receptivity. When you trust that growth is possible, you remain open even in uncertainty. This trust does not guarantee immediate comfort, but it sustains movement. Movement creates opportunity. Stagnation, fueled by fear or rigidity, blocks it. Openness does not mean lack of boundaries. Boundaries protect energy. Openness determines direction. Healthy openness is selective. It allows exploration while maintaining values. Without boundaries, openness becomes chaos. With boundaries, it becomes intentional growth. Knowing your values allows you to explore opportunities without losing alignment. Another important element is openness to abundance itself. Some people are comfortable with struggle because it is familiar. Abundance feels foreign. This discomfort creates self-sabotage. Openness requires allowing yourself to imagine ease without guilt. It requires releasing the belief that success must be painful. When abundance feels acceptable, opportunity has permission to stay. Openness also changes how you interpret other people's success. Instead of feeling threatened or envious, you feel inspired. Inspiration expands belief. Expanded belief widens perception. Perception reveals opportunity. Comparison closes the mind. Inspiration opens it. This shift alone can transform how you experience your environment. Openness to new ideas also improves innovation. Innovation creates differentiation. Differentiation attracts opportunity. Those who innovate stand out. Standing out invites attention. Attention brings resources. Openness fuels innovation by allowing unconventional thinking. Small acts of openness accumulate. Trying something new. Listening more than speaking. Considering alternative perspectives. These habits gradually reshape identity. Identity shapes destiny. An open identity attracts dynamic experiences. A closed identity repeats familiar patterns. Openness also enhances intuition. Intuition is subtle. It requires quiet awareness. Closeness is noisy with fear and judgment. Openness creates inner silence where intuition can be heard. Intuition often guides you toward the right opportunities at the right time. Ignoring it leads to missed chances. Honoring it requires trust. Finally, openness creates flow. Flow is the state where effort feels natural and progress feels supported. Flow emerges when resistance is low and engagement is high. Openness reduces resistance. Reduced resistance increases flow. Flow attracts opportunity because things move smoothly. When openness becomes a way of being, life responds differently. Conversations lead to connections. Ideas lead to action. Action leads to results. Results lead to confidence. Confidence reinforces openness. This cycle builds momentum over time. Opportunity rarely announces itself loudly. It arrives quietly, disguised as possibility. Openness is what allows you to recognize it, welcome it, and grow with it. Without openness, opportunity passes unnoticed. With openness, even ordinary moments become gateways to extraordinary change. Aligned action completes the call, because intention without movement is only a wish, and movement without alignment is only exhaustion. Many people focus either on thinking or on doing, but real transformation happens when inner belief and outer action move together in the same direction. When you call money, opportunity, or abundance into your life, life responds first by shifting your awareness, your ideas, and your impulses. Those impulses are invitations to act, not commands to wait. Aligned action is the bridge between the invisible and the visible, between desire and result. Aligned action does not feel forced. It does not come from panic, pressure, or comparison. It arises naturally from clarity. When your beliefs are aligned, action feels lighter, more focused, and more purposeful. You may still need effort, but the effort feels meaningful rather than draining. This is how you know action is aligned. It energizes rather than depletes you. Misaligned action feels heavy, rushed, and confusing, even when you are busy. Many people say they are waiting for the right time, not realizing that the right time often reveals itself through action. Clarity is not always something you receive before you move. Sometimes it appears because you moved. Aligned action creates feedback. Feedback creates refinement. Refinement creates progress. Waiting endlessly for certainty often masks fear of making mistakes. But growth does not require perfection. It requires participation. When belief changes, behavior must follow, or the belief weakens. If you say you trust abundance but continue acting from fear, the subconscious receives mixed signals. It responds to consistency, not intention alone. Aligned action sends a clear message: I believe enough to move. That message strengthens confidence. Confidence sharpens decision making. Decision making creates momentum. Aligned action also respects timing. It is not reckless. It listens. It observes. It acts when conditions feel supportive rather than pressured. This does not mean conditions are perfect. It means you are internally ready. Internal readiness matters more than external circumstances. Two people can face the same situation. One feels overwhelmed, the other feels capable. The difference is alignment. Small actions matter more than dramatic ones. Consistent, aligned steps compound over time. A single inspired action repeated daily often outperforms occasional bursts of motivation. The subconscious learns through repetition. When you consistently act in ways that support your goals, belief becomes embodied. You are no longer just thinking abundance. You are living it. Aligned action also involves letting go of actions that contradict your intention. Sometimes progress is not about doing more, but about stopping what no longer serves you. Saying no to distractions, draining habits, or misaligned commitments creates space. Space allows focus. Focus strengthens results. Clearing resistance is as important as adding effort. Fear often disguises itself as logic. It says you need more information, more preparation, more assurance. While preparation has value, endless preparation delays growth. Aligned action balances preparation with courage. Courage is not absence of fear, it is movement despite uncertainty. Every meaningful opportunity carries some unknown. Waiting for zero risk usually means missing the chance. Action aligned with belief also builds self-trust. Each time you act in accordance with your values and intentions, you reinforce the identity of someone who follows through. This identity is powerful. Life responds to identity. Opportunities seek those who act consistently, not those who merely hope. Aligned action invites guidance. When you move, you receive signals. You notice what works and what doesn't. You adjust. This adjustment process is intelligence in motion. Stagnation blocks feedback. Movement creates learning. Learning refines alignment. Alignment improves outcomes. There is also humility in aligned action. It recognizes that you are part of a larger process. You do your part, and life does its part. You cannot control everything, but you can control your response. Acting where you can, while trusting the rest, creates balance. This balance reduces stress and increases effectiveness. Aligned action also affects how others respond to you. People can sense authenticity. When your actions match your words, trust grows. Trust opens doors. Many financial and professional opportunities arise through relationships. Relationships strengthen when actions are consistent and intentions are clear. It is important to understand that aligned action does not guarantee immediate results. Sometimes results are delayed. Delay does not mean failure. It often means preparation. Seeds grow underground before they appear above ground. Consistent action keeps the soil fertile. Impatience can cause premature abandonment of good paths. Aligned action also requires self-awareness. You must be honest about your motives. Are you acting to prove something, escape something, or truly build something? Motive influences outcome. Action driven by fear produces fragile results. Action driven by purpose produces stable growth.